All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you say we get started with our program, the continuation of the 2016 Ben Hogan Award here tonight. We've got a lot we've got to do. We get a chance to meet our three finalists here very shortly. And, of course, the great Peter Costas is going to join us from CBS Sports as well. We mentioned early on that we have a very special night here, and two terrific partners who have joined us not only with the Ben Hogan Award, but also here with the Dean and DeLuca Invitational. And Craig Leasock's going to make his way up. Craig, if you would come here, please, and join me on the stage. He's a member of our Hogan Award Committee, and we've got a very special presentation for CEO Rick Taylor from Konica Minolta. We want to thank Konica Minolta for your partnership, and I think, Craig, if you would take that over to Rick and let him see. This is a Ben Hogan portrait here that we award to our very special guests every year. And Rick, we want to thank you and Konica Minolta for being a partner with us. Also, we wanted to wait until dessert was served for everyone because yesterday was the birthday of Kuan Yin. Now, Kuan Yin joined us after a 20-hour flight from Thailand to be with us. He is the chairman and owner of Pace Development, which is the holding company for Dean and DeLuca. And Mr. Yin, thank you very much for being here, and happy birthday. We wanted to wait until our desserts made it here. You know, the namesake of this award will always be a heroic figure in our minds. He will be an heroic figure in the world of golf as well. We get to know him and his relationship with Colonial Country Club a little better right now.
Colonial Country Club is known for many special moments in golf. It was the home of the 1941 United States Open Championship, the 1991 United States Women's Open Championship, and the 1975 Tournament Players Championship. Since 1946, Colonial has been the proud host of one of the most prestigious stops on the PGA Tour. But who could forget that Colonial champions are among the most legendary shot makers in all of golf? Watson, Nicklaus, Pavin, Palmer, Trevino, Crenshaw, and the hometown hero, Ben Hogan.
Throughout his life, the sport of golf became his own private quest. With precision as his trademark, Ben Hogan closely courted perfection.
I used to play 36 holes a day when I was playing in tournaments. I'd play the first 18 on the practice tee. And I'd remember every shot I'd played, you see, and I'd hit that shot until I could really hit it right. Then I'd get called on the tee, and I'd play my other 18.
Bel Air Country Club houses the Ben Hogan Trophy, originally created. It's part of the mystique of this club, formed in 1989, founded by Ben Hogan himself with Tom Harmon, his good friend from the Bel Air Country Club. So it's truly the House of Hogan, and the award you see within is truly the Heisman Trophy of college golf.
Tonight, Colonial Country Club, in conjunction with Konica Minolta, the Golf Coaches Association of America, and Friends of Golf, will recognize the top collegiate in all of golf. It's the 2016 Ben Hogan Award Banquet, and we welcome you to the show.
You know, tonight's award, though, is about more than the awarding of the Ben Hogan Trophy or the golf crystal from the Friends of Golf. No, you know, this is a bigger event than that. And to give us some insight into the impact that this award has, please welcome my friend Bob Lansford with Colonial Charitable Foundation. Bob.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm Bob Lansford. I represent the Colonial Charitable Foundation. We want to thank for you all for being here, and especially our sponsors. I'd like to, Conica Minolta, again, Rick Taylor, thank you very much for your sponsorship. We have 3 scholarship sponsors. You've met Marty Leonard. Marty, thank you. Southwest Bank trustee for the Virginia Hobbs Charitable Trust, and David Booker. With David is Adelaide and Brooks Griffin, Virginia's niece and nephew, and Linda and Rick Hubble. We appreciate, help me thank these sponsors today. I'm pleased to report that we are able to make contributions to the various scholarship programs totaling $84,000. That's up from $74,000 last year. And with this year's grants, we will exceed $500,000 since 2002. We will contribute $30,000 to the Winners Scholarship Program and $15,000 each to the 2 finalists. We will also make 7 $3,000 grants to each college scholarship program of our final 10 that didn't make the final 3. We had a wild card drawing for all of those that were in the top 25, and that went to LSU. So the foundation is on sound footing, and we, again, thank you for your support.
Thank you, Bob. You know, we've talked often about our new relationship with Conica Minolta, long respected in the golf world. This year, we welcome them as our presenting sponsor of the Hogan Award, a true partnership that we highlight right now in this video.
Since its inception in 2003, the Conica Minolta Biz Hub Swing Vision camera has been a fixture on CBS Sports Golf. For over a decade, it has captured some of the most memorable moments forever etched into the rich history of the PGA Tour. Through the tapestry of time, Ben Hogan Award recipients have made their way into the homes of golf fans everywhere, courtesy of the sensational super slow-mo camera. Ricky Fowler, Bill Haas, Ryan Moore, Patrick Rogers, Kyle Stanley, and defending Dean and DeLuca champion at Colonial Country Club, Chris Kirk, have all seen their best moments through the lens of the Conica Minolta Biz Hub Swing Vision camera. The future is bright, not only for upcoming Ben Hogan Award winners, but also for the most technically advanced camera on tour, documenting their greatest moments in golf.
A true partnership. We're honored to have Conica Minolta with us as our presenting sponsor. You may have recognized that voice. Since 1992, Peter Costas has felt like a part of our weekend family, hasn't he? He's been a terrific reporter and analyst for CBS's golf coverage, never afraid to ask that difficult post-round question. His analysis during play as well, it seems like you always walk away with a swing tip or a mental strategy that you can apply to your game. You know, when you talk about analysts in any sport, the ultimate compliment that you can pay them is, I learned something every time I watch him. Easy to say that about our featured speaker tonight. If you would, please welcome from CBS Sports, the great Peter Costas.
First of all, before I even get into this speech, I would like for everybody to give a big round of applause to the game of golf, because without the game of golf, all of us here, this wonderful audience, we wouldn't be together, and it's a really special evening tonight. So thank you, game of golf. We've already heard the thank yous to Colonial Country Club, Bel Air, the Friends of Golf, the Golf Coaches Association, and those are all really justly deserved. I have a personal extra thank you to Conica Minolta because it's my annuity at CBS. I'm the only announcer who can say those words. McCord tried, he failed, and so as long as Konica Minolta is with me. I'll be with CBS, so please stay. It's, and to our finalists, we don't know who the winner's going to be yet. Part of my speech will be directed to you three later on, but first off, I want to say congratulations to all of you for being here. You get out of golf what you put into it, but unfortunately, it's not always at the same time. And so regardless of who wins, you're all winners. And congratulations on a tremendous year in golf. Now, at my core, I'm a teacher. I've played the game. I do broadcasting, but at my core, in my heart, I'm a teacher. But announcing pays the bills. And so I'll share a couple announcer stories, or at least one. I actually had two speeches prepared. My producer, Lance Barrow, who is a member here at Colonial, asked me to come and do this speech. I eagerly said yes, and then Lance bailed on me. He didn't bother to come tonight, so I'm going with speech B. The number one fear that an announcer has, bar none, is that what goes in your ear comes out your mouth. Because if that ever happens, you're down the road. And we have a producer, Lance Barrow. I love him to death. Sensational person. Only problem is, in his profession, it really helps when the producer can pronounce names. Because we're in a really intense, it doesn't seem like it. I know most of you fall asleep during the telecast. But on our end, it's really a lot of intensity. Our lives exist in 6-second increments. And when somebody's screaming in your ear, Retief Guzman, and he really means Retief Goosen, it's tough to process that and get the right name out. And Lance is known for his inability to pronounce names. And a ways back, and I also have to say that we announcers think that we are the key to the show and its success. Lance and his production team think that they are the key to the success of the show. So there's a natural rivalry there. And a few years back in San Diego, David Faraday and I were with a group that consisted of Shigeki Maruyama and Shingo Katayama. And we're going along, everything's fine, except all of a sudden, this is a multi-million-dollar endeavor for CBS, and somebody forgot to put enough diesel fuel in the generator for the 18th tower, and right in the middle of the show, it goes dead. And so Jim Nantz can't say anything. Ken Venturi couldn't say anything. So it's only the guys out there with the battery packs were still working. And so Lance starts screaming. And he goes, Faraday, marijuana, left rough, go. 18 tower down, marijuana, go. And David looks at me, and I look at David, and David goes, well, ladies and gentlemen, evidently we have some technical difficulties, and we apologize for that. But anyway, Shigeki Marijuana is in the left rough. And now in our ears is, well, we don't pay you to say what I say. We pay you to say what you're supposed to say. Don't say marijuana. Okay. So this time, the story's not even close to being over yet. This time, the diesel fuel's been poured in the generator. The generator comes back up, and while Jim Nantz could not talk to get on air, he could hear what was going on, and so you all know Jim Nantz. He is the stud on the white stallion who likes to save the day. So he comes back in, and he apologizes for the technical difficulties, and he goes, gentlemen, we're back for the second shot at 18, Shigeki Maruyama. And he stretches it out like that, Maruyama. At which point, Lance says, Faraday, shut up. Don't say whatever, nothing. Costas, take it. Okay, fine. So Jimmy goes, well, can he knock it on in two from that lie? And I look at David, and David looks at me, and I wink at him, and I go, well, Jimmy, I don't know, but if he's going to knock it on from this lie, he's going to have to really smoke one. So announcers 1, producer 0. So anyway, I said at the beginning that at my core, I'm a teacher. So this part of the speech, if you will indulge me, are to the finalists, because they all have the talent to play this game professionally and might have an inkling as to what they're going to face. And I want to tell some stories from my past to help send them a message. And the first one, in the early 70s, I was actually signed by the Ben Hogan Company to represent them. And so as part of that whole thing, you come to Fort Worth and you get fitted for clubs and meet Mr. Hogan and the whole thing. And I had my meeting, and we talked for quite some time because he had nothing to do that afternoon. His schedule was fairly open. And he goes, you know what I'm going to do? He says, I'm going to grind you a set of irons like mine. And I'm going to take him out. Come on out with me, and we go to the factory. And he starts grinding. And I'm mesmerized by this whole thing because I've never seen it before. And he had, at the time, there was an ink pad that you would use for a rubber stamp to put return addresses on your envelope or something. He had one of those, and he would grind on the iron. He would put it on the ink pad, then he would take it and put it on a piece of white paper. And he wanted the sole to be absolutely flat. And the leading edge was, let's say you could shave with it. But this is the way he wanted his golf clubs. So I wait at home for 2 weeks for these clubs to arrive, and then they come. And I look at them, and they are gorgeous. They are bent perfectly. They look spectacular. I cannot wait to get out to hit these clubs. And I go to the range, grab the pitching wedge, first swing, boom, club goes 4 inches deep into the turf. I go, what the hell? I roll another ball over, and I try the 7-iron. I try the 4. It didn't make any difference. They all went. It's like I was digging a hole. I didn't know what to do. At that point in my career, I didn't know much about equipment, and so I very reluctantly called the Hogan factory. And I get through to his secretary, and she said, what's the problem? I said, well, I got the clubs, and they're fantastic, but I don't know if there's a mistake with them or what, because every time I swing, the club just goes right into the ground. She goes, hold on a minute, please. Puts me on hold. I'm on hold for 3, 4, it seemed like an hour, but it's probably 3 or 4 minutes. And she comes back on the phone and she says, Mr. Hogan said it's not the clubs. Practice your swing. And she hung up. And I go, okay, fine. And I realized right then and there, it hit me like a ton of bricks, that he had designed a set of golf clubs that would only work with a certain angle of attack and a certain approach to hitting the golf ball, which was what he thought the correct angle of approach was. And he built me a set of clubs that, if I made the correct swing, would perform perfectly. If I didn't make the correct swing, they wouldn't perform perfectly. And it really was an insight into his foresight and the way those players of that generation treated golf. They would get their equipment organized, and they would know it was perfect, and then they would set about the business of, as he said, digging it out of the dirt, figuring out how to swing to make them work correctly. Today, we seem to take the shortcut. We take whatever swing we have, and then we manufacture clubs that allow us to swing that way. But these guys did it differently. They put in the time and the effort and the energy. And so the moral of the story to you three is, don't take any shortcuts. If you believe in something, if you believe what you're doing is going to lead to greatness for you, then put the time and the effort and the energy into it, and you'll be rewarded. As I said, you get out of golf what you put into it, not necessarily at the same time. And it was probably a good, 4 months later, I went out in just a little small sectional event and shot 64 with those same clubs because I had worked my tail off to figure out how to not dig holes. You know, so that's my Hogan story that you want to persevere. Stick with it long enough. Don't be too quick to change. Secondarily, with whether it was Hogan or Nicklaus or more recently Nick Faldo, it seemed like every superstar in the game of golf created generations of copycats. People who said, boy, if I can only swing like Ben Hogan, I can be a champion. If I can only swing like Jack Nicklaus or Nick Faldo, I can be a champion. And so they set about the business of trying to copy these golf swings, thinking that the golf swing was the secret to success. And little did they know that not only was it not the secret to success, but it was wrong on a couple of really important levels. One, it may not be the way you should swing a golf club. And two, if you think all you had to do was copy Ben Hogan's golf swing to have Ben Hogan's career, then you're really short-sighted with his dedication, his desire, his determination, his heart, his stomach for competition, all the other things that go into the game of golf. So my second part to this teaching moment is be yourself. Be who you are. By the time you guys were, I don't know, 14, 15 years old, your DNA was done in the game of golf. It's done now. And you can't change and become somebody else or something else. You can get better, just like we're born with a certain DNA and we can exercise and eat healthy and not smoke and maximize our DNA. You can do things to help your golf DNA, but don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever lose yourself in the pursuit of trying to get better. And don't try to copy anybody else because they were good. They did what they had to do to get well in this game, and you need to do what you need to do and have confidence in yourself and those that you surround yourself with if you want to really be successful at a professional level. And lastly, we're in this new age of technology. And I grew up, and not that this is all about me, but when I grew up, my most prized possession as a kid was my shag bag. It took me forever to get 75 golf balls that were reasonably round. And we had no driving ranges to speak of. We had a field or a part of the golf course. And so when we went to practice, we had two major goals. We put the bag out there, dump out the balls, put the bag out there wherever we decided we were going to hit to. First goal was to get as many of those 75 balls to go to the target because you didn't want to lose any, right? And the second goal was that you didn't want to walk all over Hell's Half Acre picking them up. And what we did was we never hit them and went and picked them up. We'd hit the 7 irons out there, and then we'd grab our sand wedge and we would go chip them to the bag. And I didn't know what I was doing back then other than I was practicing. And yet it ended up being a perfect blend of full swing work and short game work and target awareness. And all we cared about was making the ball go to the target. So I'm fond of saying that in that era of golf, there were a lot of funny looking swings that produced a lot of great shots. And now we're in the era of a lot of great swings producing a lot of funny shots. It's flip-flopped. I mean, I'm asked with the camera to explain to people, why this person hit the ball 30 yards to the right, and really it's hard to see, even with the phenomenal camera, because the mistakes are so microscopic. So we want to make sure that we don't lose sight of what the game really is. It's old school, it's new school, it's a combination of all the things. And sometimes it's fun to just grab a shag bag and go out to a field with a few balls and just get into yourself and get into the art of making the ball go to the target and forget about how you make the club go to the ball. It's really it's a throwback. It's back to the future. You don't have to give up the technology because I think it's all phenomenally good stuff, but don't let it consume you. And when you get out there, You know, you're gonna be inclined to follow the crowd. I would say to you, take the path least traveled. Take your path and do what makes you well. Interesting side note, old school versus new school. Harvey Penick, a legend in the state of Texas, he worked with a friend of mine, Davis Love Jr., who's Davis Love's the third dad. We taught together, and we lost him way too soon to a plane crash. But we would share stories about people that I worked with, and Davis had a great story. And this is my final lesson to you boys. This is from Harvey Penick. He used to say to Davis, "Don't ever go to dinner with a bad putter, because all you're going to hear is bitching and moaning about how bad they putted, and sooner or later you're going to putt bad too. So only go to dinner with good putters." That's from Harvey Penick. And lastly, my Sam Snead story. When I started with Golf Digest in their golf schools, one of my jobs, I was kind of given the I don't know what you want to call it. They thought it was the insignificant job because we had a bunch of students. I mean, they couldn't hit balls all day long. And so I took half the group to the golf course to teach them how to play. Bob Toski and Jim Flick, Bo, you know Jim, they stayed on the lesson tee and they did the really important stuff. They helped people fix their golf swings. And so we had these VIP schools, and it was where fewer people could pay a whole lot more money, and I was a nobody, so they gave me a cart partner for 2 days a week to kind of justify the price that they were charging for the golf school, and my cart partner was a guy named Sam Snead. So we sat in a golf cart 8 hours a day, 2 days a week, 10 weeks a year. And this one time we're at Pinehurst, and Sam goes, "Well, I'm going to show you folks how you don't always have to take a different club to hit the ball different yardages." And we're on a par 4 at Pinehurst number 4, and we're 200 yards exactly. And Sam's in his 60s at this point. And he says, "I'm going to watch this. I'm going to hit this 3-iron to the back left." And he hit a big high draw that rolled to the back left portion of the green. He said, "Now I'm going to hit one short right." And he hit a big high fade with the 3-iron. And then I'm going to hit one straight. And he hit the 3-iron in the middle of the green. So he had them all lined up perfectly from short right to long left, all with the 3-iron. And one guy in the school said, "Sam, that's great." He says, "But what I'm really intrigued by is that every one of those 3-irons hit, took one bounce, and stopped. How do you do that?" So Sam looked at him and he goes, reaches in his pocket, pulls out a ball, throws it down. He says, "I'll show you one more time." Hits another 3-iron up on the green. Boom, one bounce, it stops. And the guy goes, No, Sam, I know you can do it. I want to know how I can do it." And you could see the frustration building in Sam's face. His ability to communicate was sometimes not the greatest. He goes, "Look, pay attention and watch this time. This is the last time I'm going to show you." Throws one more ball down, and now he's got 5 balls lined up, perfectly in line. And the guy goes, "Sam, I know you can do it. How can I do it?" And Sam's frustrated, and he goes, "How far do you hit your 3-iron?" And this little man goes, "So 165 yards. Sam goes, "What the hell do you want it to stop for anyhow?" So the last moral of the story is, let your clubs do your talking for you, and you'll be just fine out there. Thank you very much.
Okay, Peter. Let's visit a little bit. It should be on, I think.
It's on?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's nice and hot. You were talking about the Konica Minolta camera. Don't talk about a pro, because you do guys who aren't necessarily on the tour. You'll analyze swings. Who's had the worst one?
Of the pros?
No. Don't do a pro. Because
I'll tell you this. Every year at Pebble Beach, it's one of my most fun days. It's also one of my worst days. I have to do probably 15 or 18 amateurs coming through there. And the worst are the football coaches. All of them, every single one of them. And they all, see, football coaches are used to being in control.
Right.
And I had one of them who shall remain nameless, but he used to coach the 49ers, who came up to me and he said, "You will not do my swing." And I looked at him and I go, "Really?" He goes, "No, you're not doing my swing." I said, "Coach, what are we standing on?" And he looks down and he goes, "Putting green." I said, "Yeah, it's not a football field, is it?" It's putting. You're on my turf now. And so Jim Harbaugh was the first guy I did. And we went to dinner later that week, and we had a good fun laugh about it. But football coaches are really hard at giving up control.
Because you talked about the fact you're still a teacher. Not only do you have pros, guys that are on the tour, but you have celebrities that you work with. Dan Marino, right?
Yep.
You worked with Dan. Maury Povich.
He's Connie
father,
Chung.
right?
Connie Chung. Yeah, I am not the father.
Yeah, that's right.
Connie Chung called me. Now it's 27 years ago, and said, first of all, I hung up on her the first time she called because I thought it was somebody playing a joke.
Right.
And then she called back. She said, "Please don't hang up. I have a favor to ask you. I can't believe I'm going to ask this question, but I want to give you to my husband for his 50th birthday. That's what he wants." And I said, "Oh, I'm not that kind of guy. What are we talking about?" And so anyway, she bought a weekend with me for Maury for his 50th birthday, and we have been best friends. He's arguably one of my best buddies for 27 years, and it's through the game of golf. And he is passionate, and all he cares about is making sure that each year he gets older, he doesn't lose any yardage. So my job's getting really hard right now.
Right now, yeah. You've been asked often the state of the game and where it is and how you feel about it and things like that. And your answers have been you feel pretty good about where it is right now with some of the young talent. You still feel that way?
I don't feel good. No, I feel great. I think that since we're here at the Hogan Awards, 1912, we got Ben Hogan, Byron Nelson, Sam Snead, all born the same year. And I think in some portion, you can say that each one of them drove each other through their competitive spirit to get better.
Right.
And we have not had 3 or 4 good players that close in age since 1912. I mean, Nicklaus and Watson weren't that close. Nicklaus and Palmer weren't that close. Arnold was finishing his career. Jack was coming on the scene. Faldo and Watson, not the same. Now we've got some young kids, all in the 20, 21, 22-year-old range, 23. And I think, first of all, they're all superb people. They've all got golf games of their own. They didn't copy anybody else. And I think they're all going to drive each other to phenomenal success. And I really look forward to it. I mean, people want a world number one, but they don't want a world number one.
Yeah.
They want Jason Day to play well, get to world number one. Then they want Jordan to come up and push him. And then they want Rory to come back and push those two. And I think we're going to see that over the next few years, that those 3 are going to be interchangeable at the top of the game.
Different network, but should we care about golf in the Olympics?
Honest answer? Put the phones away, folks. No recording. Unfortunately, I don't think golf has a bright future in the Olympics. And I think it was doomed by not going to London 4 years ago, where they have great golf history and golf courses, not going to Tokyo in 2020, where it's a golf-rabid country. It's turning out now with the Zika virus and all that stuff that it's going to be a fiasco of some sort. And they didn't make it a team competition, which I think was it wasn't even a double bogey. It was a quad.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how it's going to be received. And unfortunately, they're going to vote for acceptance into the Olympics in 2017, which is way before Tokyo. So they're not even going to have a chance to redeem themselves. So I don't know. I think the game will do just fine without it. I'd like to see it stay. It can't hurt anything, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Let's end on this note, on
Let's
a
end on
really
a better note
than that, and a really good note. And that was 2014. Your wife urges you to go get a colonoscopy. She had to have one.
That's not better.
No, wait a minute.
What the hell?
I want to talk about your colon. No, but no, because it ended up being a really good story and a really positive
The
thing.
moral of the story,
Yes.
everybody out there, listen to your wife.
Yes.
But we've already known that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yes, no, it's 2013, I was doing fine, whatever, and I was coming up on my fifth year to have a colonoscopy. I was putting it off, which guys tend to do. I had 6 or 7 more months before my due date, and she said, no, go. I didn't want to hear her complain, so I went. And unfortunately, the rest is history. They found stage 3 cancer, and they got it out, and I went through chemo, and that's not fun. I'd way rather 3-putt. It's not. But you know what? The moral, just listen to your body and get your checkups, and it's all good.
Yeah.
No, we can't finish on that.
No, we can't.
Please.
We won't end on that.
That's-
When you think about the state of the game today, and you did a little breakdown of, let's talk Jordan Spieth. You did a little breakdown of his swing from Dallas
Boy,
last weekend. Don't you hate? I mean, the guy's got a really good swing, and they say, okay, break down his swing. What's going wrong here?
Well, I tell you this: I try to stay away from it, but all my friends are on social media, and they send me what people say about it. Right? So there's nothing social about social media. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
All the Jordan Spieth fans were ripping me. And you know what? And this is my last teaching moment, boys. Jordan, every great player wants to get better, and I think Jordan and his team assessed where he could get better. It wasn't going to be with the putter. It wasn't going to be chipping or pitching. It wasn't going to be with his iron play. I think he felt like the one place he could maybe make some big improvement was with driving distance. So I think that he and his coach started on the process of trying to hit it farther. And believe me, he is hitting it farther. But he's not playing Jordan Spieth golf either. He's trying to play power golf, which was never his forte. So when you make changes, you got to be really careful that you don't lose yourself and who you are and what made you great in the first place in the process. I'd like to see him just dial it back a little bit and get back to playing Jordan Spieth golf rather than trying to compete with the McIlroys or the Jason Days or the Dustin Johnsons in terms of making it a power fest.
Fun note: your greatest coaching job ever was Kevin Costner for 10 Cup, right? You were the coach for that movie, right?
I was, yes. Yeah.
How good's his game?
Actually, Kevin had some talent. He's a baseball player.
Right.
And so we started at a golf club in Sharon, Ohio, right near Akron. We were doing the Bridgestone tournament, and he came in for his first lesson, and McCord and I were with him, and we tried to construct a golf swing that looked like it came from West Texas. So it was going to be kind of short and, hit the ball low and that kind of stuff. And I think it was like, I don't know, the 5th or 6th 8-iron he hit. He literally hit the flagstick on the green 150 yards away. And he turned to the producer, Ron Shelton. He said, or the director, Ron Shelton. He said, Ronnie, no stunt double. I'm hitting the shots in the movie. So Ron Shelton turned to me and he goes, son, your job got a lot harder.
Yes, exactly.
But it was fun. And then one side note, Cheech Marin, who played the caddy. Cheech hated golf. And I mean, he thought it was an elitist sport played by rich white people, and he didn't like it.
Speaking of marijuana out of the trap, right?
Well, and so we had an ex-caddy who was there to teach Cheech how to be a caddy, and it involved copious amounts of laying under a tree, relaxing.
Right.
And that was the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie, when the director yelled cut, the next sound you heard was Cheech hitting a golf ball. And he fell in love with the game in that movie and still plays to this day.
How about that?
I can't speak for the other stuff.
Yeah.
He probably still does.
The great Peter Costas, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Peter. In recognition of your effort tonight for being here with us,
So much.
we'd like for you to take this home with you,
That
please.
is phenomenal.
Portrait of the great Ben Hogan.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Peter Costas. You know, we've talked about Friends of Golf and the importance and the important role that they play with this award. This award began at Bel Air Country Club, thanks to Friends of Golf. And joining us now and representing FOG is one of the classiest men that you will ever meet, the former UCLA golf coach, longtime club pro at Bel Air Country Club. Please welcome Mr. Eddie Marions.
Thank you, Brian. And Peter, forget David Faraday. You all aren't going to miss him at all. This is great for me coming back here because you've treated me like I'm one of you, and I want you to know it makes me feel terrific. And I'm delighted to be here again. And I'm happy to see all the friends and the friendly faces from all walks of life. I see writer friends here. I see a gentleman from Connecticut who came to our FOG tournament here. He's here again. I see a golf administrator from Los Angeles here. They're all here for what reason? They love this game and what we're trying to do with this game. Friends, you've got friends at Colonial, friends of mine in the form of Dr. and Mrs. Barnes, who took me in off the street. They house me, they feed me, they even prepare my toothpaste. Your committee, your golf committee here is utterly fantastic. They've been out to Bel Air to visit us, and we formed a little union out there at Bel Air with Colonial, Bel Air and Colonial sharing the Ben Hogan Trophy, and I hope that goes on forever because it's been delightful and it's proven to be exactly what Tom Harmon and Ben Hogan wanted it to be. We're featuring the best golfer, the best amateur golfer who happens to be going to college. And it's represented tonight by these three great players. So these three great players, Bo, John, and Maverick, thanks for being here. You're taking time out from your preparation for the NCAA. And I wish all three of you could be announced the winner tonight. It's going to come a little bit later. One of you is going to win. But in our book, you're all winners. You're great, and your record speaks for itself. Your family, your coaches, your supporters are here, and I think that's utterly fabulous that they are here. I have my Bel Air team here as well. The chairman of our Friends of Golf, Sal Cimbola's here, John Hoffman, a former president of Bel Air, and he's the president of FOG. David Potus, the golf professional at Bel Air, is here. And even Bobby Patton, a member at Bel Air, who happens to be running your golf tournament. And I want to tell you a little something about Bobby. You know, he and his company, his organization, bought the Dodgers. They only spent like $2 billion to buy the Dodgers. And I like your style, Bobby. I noticed, I think it was yesterday, you've got maybe the greatest pitcher in baseball, Clayton Kershaw, pinch hitting for the Dodger batting order. I want to commend you on that act. You're getting your full money's worth. I can see that. The CBS team of Lance Barrow, Jim Nance, Peter Costas, and Leslie Moonves. Who is Leslie Moonves? He's a member at Bel Air, and he happens to be president of CBS Television. And he believes in golf, and thank goodness he does, because you fellows do an unbelievable job of producing and presenting golf, and more power to you, Peter and company. I wish your other friends could be with us tonight. Conica Minolta people, Rick Taylor took a bow a moment ago. He came to our FOG tournament this year, and we presented him the Ken Venturi Spirit of Giving Award, which is presented to a man who gives beyond the call of duty, and Rick Taylor certainly represents that, as evidenced by his involvement here at Colonial and also with our FOG organization. So bless you, Rick Taylor, and all your friends. The history of FOG, just briefly, because we've got important things to cover in a moment. Going back to the early 80s, we founded FOG, and in the mid to late 80s, Tom Harmon, one of our directors at FOG, got up in a meeting and said that he wanted to have our organization announce the amateur golfer of the year who happened to be going to college. Well, it led to exactly what you see now, and he'd have no one lend his identity to that trophy that we were going to create but Ben Hogan. They were great friends, and I had the opportunity in his office here on Pafford Street to present a replica of the Ben Hogan trophy to Ben Hogan. And it sat right here in your living room with the trophies and medals that belonged to him, front and center in that trophy case. And when his will dictated that all the medals and trophies go to Golf House in New Jersey, that trophy sits today front and center. He was very, very proud of the Ben Hogan trophy that not only featured the ability to play golf, but also the academics that went with a college athlete. He was very proud of that because his own formal education was no more than the 8th grade. His education, as Peter termed it, came in digging it out of the dirt and self-educating himself. But he was an example for all of us to live up to. We had at our FOG tournament 3 amateurs this year as our honorees. Bryson DeChambeau, the current U.S. amateur champion, who's now a professional, Johnny Cook, who works for the Golf Channel, and Jerry Pate, who won the very first Players' Championship. They represented amateur golf, and why amateur golf at FOG when ordinarily we feature a great professional golfer? Because next year, Bel Air and Riviera are co-hosting the United States Amateur Championship, and we're very proud of that fact. And 5 days later, our neighbor down the street, Los Angeles Country Club, is going to host the Walker Cup. So it's going to be a great year celebrating amateur golf in Los Angeles. And I hope you can all come and join us in those festivities because it'll be great. But for me, my best wishes go to these 3 players who are going to be featured here in a moment. One of them is going to receive the Hogan Trophy, but they're all winners for real sure. And they go on to the NCAAs from here, and I wish you and your team well, your coaches, all your followers, and your career beyond college golf. We wish you nothing but the best because you represent the best there is in this game we all love. So we're all pulling and betting for you, on you. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Eddie Mehrens. Always a pleasure to have. We missed him last year. He was in South Korea traveling, but he's able to be with us this year, and we always enjoy his company. Well, we're getting closer, folks, to finding out who the 2016 Ben Hogan Award winner is. The list of previous winners of the Ben Hogan Award presented by Konica Minolta reads like really a who's who in the world of golf, doesn't it? Before we meet our 3 finalists, let's look back, though, at previous winners that these young men will now follow. Truly a who's who in the world of golf, wouldn't you say, when you look at those names? And it's time now for us to meet the three finalists for this year. And we start with Bo Hostler from the University of Texas.
Bo Hostler from the University of Texas, the junior from Mission Viejo, California. Bo Hostler is the second ever finalist from the University of Texas, joining Jordan Spieth in 2012, and is trying to become the first Longhorn to win the Ben Hogan Award at Colonial Country Club. The junior is ranked first in the Scratch Players World Amateur Ranking, Golf Week Sagarin, and GolfStat rankings, and is fourth in the World Amateur Golf Ranking. He leads the nation with 5 collegiate victories in 2015 and 16, which includes 4 spring tournament wins, and owns a 69.70 scoring average. For the year, Hostler has 10 top 10 finishes in 10 of 11 tournaments for the Longhorns, including a runner-up showing at the Big 12 Championship. He was named the Big 12 Player of the Year and First Team All-Big 12. Last week, he tied for 9th at the NCAA Tennessee Regional, helping #1 Texas win the tournament and advance to the NCAA Championships. Following a 10th place finish at the 2015 NCAA Championships, the native of Mission Viejo, California, was a member of the United States' 2015 Walker Cup team, and also went 3-0-1 for victorious Team USA in last summer's Palmer Cup. One of 16 amateurs to qualify for the 115th U.S. Open, Hostler made the cut and placed 58th. Hostler also reached the match play round of 64 at the 2015 U.S. Amateur. He tied for second at the Pacific Coast Amateur and tied for 6th at the Pan Am Games. In January, he won the 2016 Jones Cup Invitational by 6 shots. From the University of Texas, Bo Hostler.
Come on up, Bo. Let's visit a little bit. Grab a seat. Come on up, Bo. Good to see you. Grab that microphone there. We'll visit a little bit. This is, this is kind of old hat for you, 3-time U.S. Open qualifier. I mean, that's no big deal, right? This is like another Monday night for you, right?
I wouldn't call it that.
No?
It's, I'll tell you what, these lights are pretty bright.
Yeah?
This is special to be here and to be in everybody's company, and I'm certainly honored.
You have been in big situations before. We talked about the Opens. In 2012, you led it halfway through round 2. Did you know at the time what was going on, and what did that feel like back then?
Yes, I was watching leaderboards. And it was certainly special. It was nice to have that experience on that kind of level at a young age. And, I set a goal that week of learning throughout the week what I needed to do to get to that level where I could actually, be out there playing. And I certainly did that. I played well, but more importantly is, like I said, I learned exactly what I needed to do to get better. And that was kind of the point where I realized, this really is what I want to do. I do want to play professional golf at one point in my life and be successful on this level. And that kind of adrenaline, those kind of feelings and emotions are, what I play golf for. And it certainly was special to have it at that moment. It's something that I look forward to hopefully having one day in the future.
When you talk to your teammates and your coaches, the one thing they all say is you hate losing. You hate losing. Is that what drives you as much as anything?
Yeah, I think any true competitor, when you leave a tournament and you haven't won the tournament, you're a little disappointed, a little upset with yourself. And I think that's when you lose, that's when you learn. And I've lost plenty, as every golfer has. But to have the opportunity to learn from my own mistakes, to kind of analyze my game, and to hopefully get in the winner's circle more often than I do now is certainly something that drives me to get better every day and to compete at the highest level one day.
Your dad's a USC grad,
Correct.
right? You grew up in California.
Correct.
How did you end up in Texas? How'd you get here?
Well, I'll tell you first off that national championship was one of the worst days of my life when Texas won.
USC, yeah.
Yeah, Reggie Bush and
right.
Matt Leinart were like my two guys.
Right.
Oh my God, that fourth quarter. My godfather actually went to Texas. He had a finance degree from Texas. And I was playing in the HP Invitational, which was an AJGA tournament down at Carlton Woods in Houston. And, he was there traveling with me, Bill Schellenberg, my godfather. And we went up to Austin to take a little visit, called Coach Fields, and he promptly directed me to the assistant coach,
right.
Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I was able to go. Obviously, a really nice visit. Came back, had some really good options, and ended up at Texas. And I'm very glad I did. As many people in this crowd graduated from Texas, it's certainly a special place, and it certainly has been a great place for me to grow up and mature and learn and kind of get used to a little bit of a different culture than I grew up in California.
We were talking earlier about Jordan Spieth, and you had a chance to play with him in a tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like, and what did he talk to you at all? I mean, or did he even know you were there?
I know Jordan's big time now, but
Right.
he's still just one of the boys.
Yeah.
We played out in Oklahoma at the Karsten Creek Golf Club in the Ping Invitational in the final round. And actually, we were playing with Emiliano Grillo, who's playing in this tournament. I just saw him today. Good friend of mine as well. And yes, he talked to me, believe it or not. He we had a really good time, but he knocked the lights out of it that day. He shot maybe 66 and won the tournament. And at that point, I want to say he was ranked number 1 or 2 in junior golf. He was, he's been really good at every level that he's been at. But to learn from him at that age, because I was only maybe 15 years old or so, was special. And he was certainly, you could tell he was a special guy. And that's one of those guys that, there's something else in those guys that are really successful. And he's got that competitive fire, as we see on television all the time now. He's not satisfied with losing, I can tell you that. And I think for him, seeing guys like Jason Day and Rory McIlroy being successful only motivates him to get better. So I hope to use him as that kind of benchmark as well.
A lot of people comparing you already. Congratulations on being one of our finalists.
Thank you very much.
Bo Hostler from the University of Texas. Up next, from Stanford, Maverick McNeely.
Maverick McNeely from Stanford University, the junior from Portola Valley, California. Maverick McNeely is a finalist for the Ben Hogan Award for the second straight year, making him one of just 6 two-time finalists at Colonial since 2015. The junior is listed second in the World Amateur Golf Ranking, Golf Week Sagarin Ranking, and GolfStat Ranking, and is 7th in the Scratch Players World Amateur Ranking. He has 4 tournament titles this season, the second most in the country, and is placed inside the top 10 9 times for the Cardinal. In addition, McNeely boasts a 69.15 scoring average, broke the school's 54-hole scoring record at the Western Intercollegiate with a 194. He was honored as the Pac-12 Golfer of the Year and first-team All-Pac-12. Last week, he finished as the runner-up at the NCAA Arizona Regional, helping Stanford win the tournament and advance to the NCAA Championships. The Portola Valley, California product played on the 2015 United States Walker Cup team and the winning Palmer Cup squad. In addition, he advanced to the round of 16 at last summer's U.S. Amateur. McNeely won the 2015 Northern California Golf Association Match Play Championship after finishing as the event's stroke play medalist, and also tied for second at the 2015 Pacific Coast Amateur. McNeely made the cut at 2 PGA Tour events in 2015, the Greenbrier Classic and Barbasol Championship. He had his highest finish on the tour this season when he shared 46th place at the 2016 Arnold Palmer Invitation. From Stanford University, Maverick McNeely.
Come on up, Maverick. Good to see you again, man. Come on up here. Grab that mic. I know. Second time's a charm, right?
Guess that's what they say, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Close enough.
Yeah. We got to visit with you last year and get to know a little bit about you. So it's been a year. How many times did you get asked in the last year, when are you turning pro?
Man, if I had $1, I wouldn't even need to turn pro.
That's right. But there's several reasons why you have delayed that, right?
Yeah, amateur golf's really special to me. I mean, to me, an amateur golfer and why I play the game, amateurs play the game with nothing expected in return other than just the true love of the game and what you get out of it and what you learn from the game of golf. And that's really special to me. And, even more special than playing amateur golf is playing college golf. And I can't thank my coach enough for giving me that opportunity to, spend a year with 10 guys every single year. And it's been the best, it's been the time of my life. So amateur golf and collegiate golf are, 2 of the best things that's ever happened to me.
There are some folks who call you a modern-day Bobby Jones. You'll take that, wouldn't you?
Those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
That's I have to wear a lot of socks for those.
But part of that is you have other things you want to do in life. And not just, you're really good at it. You could turn pro, but there are other things you want to do in life.
Yeah, my parents have always told me that to whom much is given, much is expected. And I've been very fortunate to have a lot of things in life and a lot of opportunities. And I think it's important to do the absolute best you can, the most good you can with what you're given. And I'm not sure how that's going to play out in terms of my life, but I think there are tons of people that have done incredible things with golf, tons of people that have done incredible things otherwise. I mean, my dad's a huge role model of mine, and he employed 235,000 people at his time in Sun Microsystems, and that's one way to help people. And guys like Arnold Palmer and Ben Hogan, who have inspired and given back and left legacies in the game, have helped thousands of people in that way too. So there's a lot of ways to go about it, and I'm not sure how, but I think being in a special position like this and getting to come do things like this, it's kind of our job and our duty to be good role models and give back and help out in some way.
Yeah, that's true. Great answer. Let's refresh folks' memory and minds if they weren't here last year. Maverick, you're not named after a character in Top Gun, right?
No. Oh God, those references are going to keep coming because the new movie's coming out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you get ready for it. But if you look at your brothers, Dakota, Scout,
and Colt. I also got to give them a shout out. They qualified for the California High School State Championships for the first time ever with Harker history.
Yeah.
And, I graduate and they get good, so I don't know what I was doing wrong. But
yeah, but there is a theme there.
Yeah, we're all named after American cars, and my grandpa worked for American Motors. My dad grew up in Detroit, so.
Right. And you said if you'd had one more brother, he'd have been a Le Mans, right?
Hopefully not Gremlin, right?
Okay,
So.
not Gremlin. That would have been good. Yeah,
Yeah.
That would have been good. And just so folks know, your dad went to Stanford.
He did.
Your mom go to Stanford?
My mom went to Stanford. My aunt, my uncle, my grandpa.
And where were you born?
Stanford Hospital.
So where did you go to college?
Stanford.
You had to, right?
Yeah.
So. Ladies and gentlemen, Maverick McNeely.
Thank you.
Good to see you, buddy. Yeah. Our next finalist from Arizona State, John Rahm.
John Rahm from Arizona State, the senior from Barica, Spain. John Rahm won the Ben Hogan Award in 2015, becoming the first recipient from Arizona State, and is in contention to become the first ever two-time winner of the honor. The senior is the world's top-ranked amateur according to World Amateur Golf Ranking. He's third in the Scratch Players World Amateur Ranking and also ranks third in both the Golf Week Sagarin and GolfStat rankings. Rahm has secured top 10 placements in all 12 collegiate events for the Sun Devils this year, which includes 4 victories, including 3 in his last 4 starts. The senior, who carries a 69.38 scoring average, won the Pac-12 championships by 4 strokes. He was named first team All Pac-12 Conference, and last week he won the NCAA New Mexico Regional by 5 shots to help Arizona State to a team victory and a berth in the NCAA championships. Last summer, Rahm won the Spanish Amateur Individual title, advanced to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Amateur Championship, and tied for 8th at the European Amateur Team Championship. The native of Barica, Spain, also competed for Team Europe in the 2015 Palmer Cup and was named the winner of the 2015 Mark H. McCormick Medal. In November, Rahm notched his second career top 10 PGA Tour finish at the OHL at Mayahobic Classic. He also made the cut in another event on the tour, tying for 64th at the 2015 Travelers Championship. From Arizona State University, John Rahm.
Come on up, John. Good to have you back, man. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, when's the last time you danced?
This morning, waiting for Mr. Barnes to take me to the doctor.
Right now. Yeah. That was a different kind of dance, so right now, yeah.
Well, I was just happy to be alive at that point.
That's right. So for those of you who don't know, John was under the weather, and literally Dr. Barnes did have to take you to a doctor this morning. Then you got some sleep during the day, right?
Yeah, I probably slept a total of 2 hours tonight. Right. I spent more time on the toilet than I did on the bed. And I think it was around 6 a.m. I texted Dustin. I'm like, I need to see a doctor. I'm worried. And they took me to a doctor. And we got back at like 9:30 and slept until 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Then woke up and got ready.
Ready to go now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could go play in the tournament this weekend. No problem, right?
Yeah, of course.
Not a problem, yeah. Hey, when you got to the States, what was the biggest surprise? What was the thing that you didn't expect when you came from Spain?
God, there's so many. Well, first of all, I had no idea what Arizona was like. I had never been in the States before, and I came from a cold, rainy, humid place, much like Portland, Seattle. And I show up in Arizona, and it was like 8 p.m. It's 105 degrees.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, it's good. I'm used to, when the sun goes down, it gets colder.
Right.
Exactly, yeah. We went to the movies, came out at it was 12 at night, and I look at the temperature and it's still 102, and I'm like, well, there's certainly something wrong going on here. I don't know if I'm gonna survive. Does it ever get cold here? But I would say the biggest thing to adjust was, besides English, obviously, meals. In Spain, we eat lunch at 2, 3 p.m. We eat dinner at 9, 10 p.m. So having to eat lunch, sometimes even at 11 a.m., it was extremely weird for me.
Yeah.
And then dinner at 5 p.m., then by 9, I will be starving again. So so it was really hard to get used to that.
You talked about early on when you got to Arizona State, those first 2 or 3 weeks, you didn't know if you were going to make it, did you?
Coach didn't think I was going to make
Right.
it. I had no idea what was going on.
Right.
I mean, keep in mind, I'm from another country, never been to U.S. college before. I can barely speak the language, and I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what college golf was. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. So because of that, I got in many troubles, and I had no idea I was getting in trouble. There's so many stories about that I could talk about. Just every week there would be something I had to do, and I had no idea. Yeah. I still remember our first workout. Our trainer will tell us every exercise, and I would not understand a single word they told me for the first semester. I had no idea what the name of each exercise was.
Right.
All I could do was just, I tag on with Alberto, who was in the video too, spoke Spanish. I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna copy you because I have no idea what's going on.
When you think about it, though, you told your dad wanted you to graduate. That was important,
Mm-hmm.
and you felt like you owed it to him, right?
Oh yeah. My parents have done anything and everything and more that was possible for them. For me to become the best person and golfer, and the least I could do was, graduate for them, and I'm thankful for that because graduating to this day is my biggest accomplishment.
What was what's it like being the reigning Ben Hogan champion? What's that feel like? What was it like this year?
It's an honor, obviously, to be represented with what Mr. Hogan was. I'm a huge golf history fanatic, and just be related to him in this small way is just a humbling honor.
Did you like Sergio's win?
Oh, of course.
I knew you would.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. John Rahm, ladies and gentlemen, from Arizona State. Thank you, brother. Good to see you again. We've talked about the path that the previous winners have blazed for this year's winner. Let's hear one more time about the impact that this award has had on their careers.
It really capped off my freshman year at Oklahoma State. I played well the summer prior going into school, and won some college events and played well my freshman year. And to have the honor to go to the dinner and to win the Ben Hogan Award was awesome. It was, like I said, it was just capped off an awesome year.
The Ben Hogan Award is obviously it's the biggest award you can get in college and amateur golf. So. It means a lot. It means you've played the best golf at that level over the past year, and obviously meant a lot to me to win that award.
Unbelievable. I think at that time in your career, at that age, and you're trying to be the best among your peers. It was couldn't have dreamed it. I was just trying to play the best I could play, and of all the good players, especially now that you see what they've done in their career to maybe be voted as the best at that time, it was very special for me.
It's kind of like the Heisman Trophy for college golf, and to be recognized as the best player that year is pretty cool, pretty good feeling.
It's really one of the most prestigious awards for any college golfer and amateur golfer. So to have won it, to have been part of that great list of champions and players, it was a great feeling.
Yeah, it was really neat. It meant a lot to me. I actually think I cried when I accepted it, but. It was probably the top honor at the time in college golf, and pretty cool names on that trophy, so it was nice to be a part of that group.
It was definitely the biggest accomplishment of my college career. To be there and be a finalist my junior year and not win, and then to be able to come back and win it my senior year was something I'll never forget.
He's one of the greatest to ever play the game, just a tradition of excellence, everything that he stands for, about work ethic and the traditions of the game I hold really dear to my heart, and it's really special to be on an award with his name on it.
Hopefully I spurred somebody on or they saw something in my swing or how I played and what I did, and hopefully that helped them.
You can see the impact that this award has had on guys who are on the tour as we speak. And it's time now to find out who the 2016 Ben Hogan Award winner is. At this time, John Flack is the most important guy in the room. John, come on up. He's got the envelope. Dr. Bill Barnes will join us. Sal Cimbola as well from Friends of Golf. Chris Kirk, if you would please join us as well here on the stage to present tonight's winner. Dr. Barnes, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Brian. I have a sense there's a certain amount of excitement building right now. Before I open this envelope, we have a bunch of new faces in this room, and 4 to 6 times tonight, people have asked me, how do you decide the winner? And I want to explain that on page 5 of this pamphlet, we have the selection committee, and this selection committee they're from all around the United States and as far as the RNA, and they're a very learned group. So they're the ones that have made this decision. So at this time, I'm going to open this envelope. I think. The 2016 Hogan Award recipient is John Rahm from Arizona State. Welcome back, John. Welcome back. Welcome back. At this time, I'm going to have Sal Cimbola, he's the chairman of Friends of Golf, do the presentation of the trophy to John. Thank you. Also, I'd like to ask Chris Kirk. He was our 2007 winner, and also he won the Crown Plaza tournament last year. I'd like for him to present the Hogan Bronze.
Congrats, man. Thank you. For some reason, I'm more nervous than last year. Well, obviously, there's a lot of people to thank. As has been mentioned throughout the entire ceremony, from Konica, Minolta, Rich Taylor, thank you very much for for sponsoring and the help with the event. Well, before I continue, as you know, I'm from Spain. Because I'm a little nervous, if I mispronounce your name or don't say it right, please, I don't mean it. I sincerely apologize before I say it. The founders of the award from Friends of Golf, Eddie Merens, Sal Cimbola, and John Hoffman, thank you very much. Obviously, the host, Colonial Country Club. Even if today I couldn't be around for the show of the Ben Hogan Room and all the history you tell us about the course and the event. Last year, you guys treated me extremely well. This year, even if I was under the weather, I still feel like I was treated excellently. So thank you very much. From the Hogan Committee, obviously, Dr. Bill Barnes and Wally Schmuck. I also want to especially thank Bill Barnes for today, just for taking me to his personal physician and just helping me as much as he could for me to be here. If he hadn't helped me out, I probably wouldn't be here right now. It was a really rough night, and I tried my best to be here, and because of his help, I got to be here. Obviously, as I stated last year, from Golf Coaches Association of America, Dustin Roberts. I think just all the work you do for all of us, not only here but in the Palmer Cup. I know my coach and I drove you a little crazy because with the guests that were coming, not coming. I asked you if my girlfriend could be here and could come to dinner yesterday, and you never hesitated to just please us as much as you could and do all the work you've done for me. So thank you very much. Also, thank you for reading my text this morning and contacting Dr. Barnes to take me to a doctor. So thank you very much. And this time, even if they made me promise I wouldn't talk in Spanish this time. So since they're gonna be spending a month and 2 months here in the States, I'm gonna thank my parents in English this year. I just want to thank them for just showing me the way to do things. Just thank you for telling me to come to the States, because at first I didn't want to, so my dad just dropped me off at the airport and hope for the best. Just thank you for convincing me to come and to get my degree. As in right now and probably forever, is the greatest thing I could do for them, get a degree. Unfortunately, my brother couldn't do it even if he tried, and just to do this for them, it's a great honor. Obviously, thank you for all you guys do in my life. We talk pretty much every week, and every week there's something new to talk about, and I know they're proud of me in this moment, so I just want to say that I'm even prouder to be their son, so thank you very much. I also want to thank my coach, Tim Mickelson, who couldn't be here today because he was playing the USGA 4-ball, and unfortunately they didn't make it to match play, but he didn't have time to come here. But I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity. As I explained last year, it was a very different situation the way he recruited me. He had never seen me play. He didn't know me as a person. And good thing he didn't know me, because had he known how bad my English was, probably I wouldn't be here right now. But he gave me the opportunity to come here. He took a risk, and as I always say, he paid off for both of us. I also want to thank the Spanish Golf Federation. I did last year. They've done a lot of work for me. They've helped me out as much as they could. They spent a lot of resources just trying to make me a better player. And without them, I wouldn't be here right now. I also want to thank all my golf coaches through my entire life, but especially my actual coach back home, Eduardo Telles. He's been my inspiration. He taught me the little shorter swing that I have. He told me that my swing was unique, to never change my backswing, even if my wrist angle was different. Never change what I have, just work what I have and be good with what I have. It was part of me, part of my personality, so he didn't want me to be a perfectionist. He wanted me the best golfer I could be, so thank you for that. I also want to thank my teammates. We've had a great year this year to come back from a great season last year, and even if we didn't win until regionals, we played great golf. We progressively got better all year long, and I'm just extremely proud to be with them. And this is just for them to understand. I just want to say, for the boys. I also want to thank a person I hold very dear to my heart, which is my girlfriend, Kelly. We started dating about 6 months ago in December, and she's helped so much since last year. Since then, pretty much I lost 20 pounds. She helped me with every diet. She's a great cook too, so she helped me with diet. She encouraged me to work harder, to do my homework on time, and she helped me get my degree. She helped me get in better shape, and she was a huge support. She's probably watched me play more rounds of golf in the last semester than my parents have in the last 5 years. So thank you very much for that. And I also want to congratulate Maverick and Bo. I mean, you guys had both an outstanding year. I mean, when Maverick won 3 out of 4 events in the fall, I was like, here we go again. I was like, this kid is unstoppable. And then Bo comes back and wins 4 of the first 5 events he plays in the spring. So that really got me going to win 3 out of the last 4. But you guys had outstanding years. And I'm grateful to have played with you guys. You both are great players, but you're a better person. You're better people. I've always had a lot of fun with you guys, and I'm really confident that the future of golf is really safe with people like you two guys. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite Bobby Patton up here, our tournament chairman, for a special award for John.
Okay, John, I hope you get to use this one. And on behalf of Colonial Country Club and on behalf of Dean and DeLuca, I'm pleased and proud to extend to you our first invitation to the 2017 Dean and DeLuca Invitational.
I will use it. Do you hold it for me for some pressure?
Yeah.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you to all who came tonight to visit with us, a chance for us to, express our gratitude not only to the Hogan Award, but also to these three guys who had terrific years, our three finalists, and our two-time champion now, John Rum. Thank you to Conica Minolta. Thank you for being great partners. We look forward to a great future. It's going to be a fabulous week with the Dean and DeLuca Invitational. Thank you to Dean and DeLuca as well. Have a safe night. We look forward to seeing you next year for the Ben Hogan Award. Thank you very much.